Alright everyone, something a little bit different for you this week. But firstly, I hope you're all good. I hope you all managed to get out on your bikes and do some kind of riding, or at least have fun. I've had a bit of a tricky week. At the minute, I am in preparations for pretty much the biggest show of my life. I know that YouTube one I did a few months was the biggest show of my life, but this one is even bigger. I'm actually doing a show in the Hydro for Celtic Connections. And actually the Hydro is such a massive venue. I was actually there the other month just to watch Metallica play. So I'm so stoked to be playing in the same venue as them. That is a dream come true pretty much. But because of doing that show, it's essentially meant that there's been lots of planning and preparation, which means I haven't really had the time to do a proper video. I know all you guys want me to go out and ride with bikes and stuff like that, and I really want to as well, but it's just not worked out. So today I'm going to try something a little bit different, and yeah, I'm hoping it'll be really good and you guys can get something from it. My main buddy, Mr. Mark Westlake, has pointed out that it has been exactly 3 years since we went and filmed the drop and roll video in Barcelona. So today I'm going to basically explain a few things about that trip, some behind the scenes stories. I'm going to show you some clips and basically explain what it took to make that video. If some of you haven't seen that video, then hang around, I will show it in its entirety at the end of this video. Before I start with the clips, just a little bit of background. Obviously the video was shot in Barcelona, and if you haven't seen Barcelona, it is the most insane place for riding. There is literally, I'm not even kidding, the best riding spots I've ever seen in my life around every corner. A little place that would be just a throwaway place. You probably wouldn't even stop in Barcelona. It would probably be like the best place in Glasgow. And there's just tons and tons of riding and nice weather. So if you're wanting to go and make a video, Barcelona is one of the more obvious places if you want to get some good riding done. The weather's always nice and, like I said, good riding spots. On the flip side, there's a lot of expectation for you to make a really amazing video. There's so many good riders and amazing videos come out of Barcelona that it's kind of hard to go and make your own mark on the place. So with that in mind, Mark and I, before we even went to Barcelona, we went on Google Maps. We watched Otp Dreams, which I'm not sure if you've seen. That is a rider, Otp, from back in the day from Spain, with one of the more bizarre videos I've ever seen. I think they've even got the Scat Man doing some songs in that. It's bizarre. Go and Google for it. It's worth a watch. But we watched that, Google Maps, skate videos, BMX videos, trying to find the hidden spots, the ones that are less obvious to go ride. And once we actually went there as well, we did a lot more exploring, trying to find just any little thing that hasn't been in videos before, because fresh stuff, no expectations, just makes life a little bit easier, less weight on the shoulders. At this point, it's worth making a massive shout out. Thank you to Drop and Roll for giving the funds to go and do this video. So yeah, that's why it is a Drop and Roll video, because pretty much they paid for it. Anyway, enough chat. I'm going to watch this video. When I find something interesting to talk about, which might be quite often, I'm going to pause it and give you guys a little background information about it. So, shall we do it? Here we go. Nice intro. Okay, right at the start, first fact for you, really quick one. I pretty much made Mark get up at 4:30 in the morning to get that sunrise. I just stayed in bed because I'm lazy, but yeah, got the shot. Thanks, Mark. This shot here was, I think, roughly halfway through the video. I was tired. I actually wanted to 360 over this gap, but I couldn't quite make myself do it because I'm an absolute wimp. But maybe next time. When I go there next time, I'll do it.
Sleep at night, I think about the day before it arrives, and when the sunrise brings that dusty light.
Okay, one of the most important things I'm going to say in this video is on the very first day, within 2 hours of going riding, my hand gave up the ghost. Previously to coming out of the trip, I changed my grips to some brand new foam grips, and I was riding without gloves, and I didn't test the grips. And unfortunately my hands hated it, and I actually wore off one of my calluses and had a great big hole in my hand, which meant holding onto the handlebars was extremely painful. So if you're wondering why there's a lot of front wheel moves in this video, it's pretty much because I couldn't bunny hop without being an absolute agony. And also, if you see some clips without gloves, those were some of the very first clips filmed before my hand gave up the ghost. So yeah, factoids.
I think maybe I'll just take to the sky. Try and hold the heat that I'm so tempted by. Nothing makes me feel more alive than knowing I am gonna die.
I've spoken to a few people who absolutely love that line, that up to then down to stoppy. Just so happened it was such a nice slope to do that on. Took a long time to get that ender with the spin off, but yeah, that's actually one of my favourite clips as well. I really like that one. This line, as you can see, no gloves, so this was the first day of filming. It was actually the very first clip that we got. We arrived to this spot, which, like I said, if this spot was in Glasgow, it would probably be the best riding spot there. It just so happened that we literally rode that place for an hour and never went back again. Absolutely insane. But took a little bit of time to figure out a line, try and manual up. There's a lot of sand around, so you couldn't quite get run up at some angles. But yeah, quite happy with this line. Managed to get it with no hops, so yeah, pleased with that.
I can take today, rekindle all the dreams I had taken away, where the others burned like...
Yeah, that line, that's a very, very famous spot in Barcelona. Kind of wanted to get a clip there, but I was actually hurting so much from my hand. I'm not sure you can tell, my body's a little bit stiffer than normal. Kind of figured I could have got something, maybe if my hand was working well, I could have done some gaps across, but you know, we were worried we weren't going to get enough clips, so we were just trying to film what we can.
Hold the flame, so maybe I'll just take to the sky. Try and hold the flame.
That line took so long, seriously. That is a sculpture which is actually really, really cool to ride. It's been in loads of videos. There's been absolutely insane lines pulled on that. This line actually was a lot harder than I thought it was going to be, especially when it's hard to bunny hop because I was hurting, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, quite happy to get that in the end. I think it took so long because I was trying to get it with as fewer hops as possible. So yeah, I think it was worth the pain, worth the patience. And Mark didn't complain, so yeah, all good. Again, another very famous spot in Barcelona. That statue, sculpture, artwork looks like it'd be amazing to ride. I remember seeing Chris Aitken ride that years ago. He made it just look like a really smooth quarter pipe. Of course, when I get there, it rides like a corrugated piece of cardboard. It is like the hardest thing to get any fluidity on. I wanted to go up and really do like a really stalled nose stall on the sculpture statue thing, but that's the best I could get. It's so hard waiting for all the traffic to clear, for people not to sit on it, so that's the best we could get. I'd like to have done better, but yeah, can't complain too much.
Feel more alive than knowing I am.
Again, another really, really cool spot that if it was in this town or any town in England, Britain, it would probably be one of the more main riding spots in that place. But again, we rode it once, never saw it again. There's some really cool lines to be done on there. I'm actually pleased with the thread the needle hop through there. I think Drew Bonanza, is that how you say his name? Bonanza. He actually went and did a video part where he did the same thing, except I did it better. So I was stoked on that. That area with all the wobbly, cobbled floor shapes, I don't even know why it exists. It's bizarre. There's also a car park just around the corner which has even bigger shapes, possibly even a street backflip if there aren't any cars in the way. But yeah, it's absolutely insane. Like Barcelona's architectures, I don't know what they were on when they were designing the place, but yeah, I thank them for it. That place was so much fun. Again, the architects, I don't know what everyone's on with making the flat banks over there, but yeah, you've got a wheelchair access, rail, flat bank, absolutely perfect. It's just like designed for riding. It's so good. From lack of patience, as I took flight across the sea of yeah, no gloves on this clip means this was on the first day. However, by this point, my hand had absolutely given up the ghost. I had a massive hole in it, and I didn't even have any gloves or any tape to try and make it better. It was so painful to do those 2 lines, and I had to try that first one so many times as well. Just the bunny hop up onto the rail was absolute agony. This place is a very famous spot in Barcelona. There's been some absolutely insane stuff done over that handrail, out of that bank. I was in 2 minds whether to actually film anything there at all, because when someone's done an opposite 540 over that handrail, it's just a straight bunny hop worth doing. But we're again worried that we weren't going to get many clips, so just film stuff, and then if you throw away a clip, it's not the end of the world. So yeah, that's why we got that. It's not the best clip in the world, but it's something. Again, trying to get clips. By this point, this is later on in the week. I think it's like day 3 or 4 out of a 5-day ride, and we had hardly any clips in the bag. I was getting a bit stressed by this line because I kept on hopping. I think Mark was a bit stressed because we hadn't got enough clips, and he's effectively been employed to make a video. So yeah, this clip is okay, I guess, but at this point we were just on the hunt for as many clips as we could get. Now this spot is really weird. I've never seen this in any videos. It's actually a little bit out of town, along the coast. It just so happened we went exploring and bumped into it. It's got potential. I think if my hand wasn't hurting as much, there could have been some big bunny hop gaps to do there. But yeah, for a little nibbly bit of riding, pretty sweet place. And again, this place is on the way to that last spot, just another place I've never seen in any videos before. And this line, I wanted to have a bit more trialsy, hence the hook, something that you wouldn't see a BMX or a skater do on this spot. So yeah, took a few goes, but yeah, went quite nicely in the end. This place is actually really cool. It's just, again, the most amazing architecture. It's like it's just designed for riding, but this was actually quite a posh looking building. And normally when you've got good riding at a posh building, you're gonna expect security. But we never got kicked off, and yeah, we could ride to our heart's content there pretty much. I was actually stressing on this line a little bit, that drop gap. My back brake, for some reason, was working amazingly before I went on this trip. And then I went on this trip and it just went quite crap basically. So yeah, I was a little bit concerned that it wasn't quite going to hold my weight on that drop gap, even though it's not the biggest in the world, but it did, so it's good. And I'm quite happy with that bunny hop, tie tap, spin thing at the end. So I actually quite like that line in the end.
All the things I love, all the things I love were never enough. I would take your body and drink your blood. Well,
That line was actually suggested by Mark. I'd been going up and over that. I'd been trying to do it brakeless, and then Mark, I think it was Mark's idea, it may have been my idea. I'm giving him too much credit, I think. But yeah, pretty much going up, trying to get that tyre right in the middle of those rungs and gap across. Only issue is they were painted and that paint was slippery as anything. So I think I only fell off a couple of times, nothing too bad, but I was actually really surprised how well it went in the end. So yeah, that's one of my favourite clips in the video, I think.
maybe I was flying too high.
The classic hippie hop, oh my word. This is probably the pivotal point in the whole video for myself and Mark. By this point we were struggling to get clips, and I had always wanted to get a hippie hop over a solid rail out in the street. I'd done them over like a bunny hop bar in shows and just out practicing before, but never over anything solid. I reckon it took me a solid, at least an hour, maybe more, of like just chicken runs going up to that rail, chickening out, bottling it, shouting at myself. Yeah, sorry, Mark. But I went for it, I tried it, and as you can see, that first attempt didn't go very well at all. But it's actually, I needed that to happen, because once you actually find out if you crash and it doesn't actually hurt that much, then your fears tend to go away. So once I had that crash, I tried it a few more times and then eventually landed it, and that is most definitely my favorite clip in this video. It's probably one of my most favorite clips I've ever got. It's a legitimately hard, scary thing, so absolutely stoked on that one. Yeah, a few filler clips, and you can see there, trying to pad up my hand, trying not to hurt, because it's still absolute agony. Anything that involves lifting up the front end just pulled on that part. So again, that's why you see all these front wheel moves and moves where anything that involves my weight on the handlebars, I'm using that part so it doesn't hurt as much. So weight forward, good. Weight back, bad.
That makes me feel more alive than knowing I am gonna die. Maybe I was flying too high.
Now, I actually got kicked off that spot. I think it's possibly the only spot we got kicked off, but we pretty much went and did a loop around the park. The security or whoever they were had gone, and we managed to get the line. Been trying it for a while. I reckon there's some probably pretty decent other lines to be done there if you're feeling absolutely 100% healthy and fit, but for considering the circumstances, I'm quite happy with that one. Mark wanted me to credit him for forcing me to do that stair ride to wall ride, and to be fair, I thank him for it. It's actually a really good shout. The really annoying thing with that line was it was a really, really long uphill run up to it, and it took a lot of attempts, and I was absolutely knackered by the time we got that clip. Plus, all that vibrations actually rattled apart my back brake lever, and yeah, it pretty much literally fell apart on me. So I had to go and scour the floor, try and find all these tiny little bolts to put it back together again. But we put the brake back together and got the line, and I actually really like that line. I like the sound of tyres going up, and it just brings back some fairly good memories overall. This is another line we found just out randomly exploring. Kind of a thing, I don't think any BMXers or skaters would ever even ride this thing, so it's kind of cool to find something unique to trials that we can use. The drop was really scary, especially when you try and get it with no hops, but yeah, it actually doesn't look that high now. Landed it like a complete sack of potatoes, but yeah, it is what it is. Didn't actually hurt my hand that much either. Now the ender line. It's always, when you're out on a trip, hard to know what's going to be an ender line or not. It would have been quite cool to maybe have something a little bit more spectacular, but I think that's a fairly decent ender line. It's scary enough anyway. The tricky thing with this, as the start of the clip will show you, getting the line up onto the wall, there's actually a handrail that's really, really close to the pedal. We tried to show it in the video, but I don't think it quite shows how close it is. And then, if you can see, there's also a bin right down at the bottom, which if you start going off to the left as you get onto the wall, you're going to go straight into that bin, and that's not going to end well at all. But actually, I did it first try pretty much, and it's, yeah, it didn't even find it that scary. Looking back at it now, it looks pretty scary, but I think I was feeling super confident that day or something. So yeah, it took a couple of tries to get up onto the wall properly, but once I got up, it's literally first try down it. So yeah, happy with that. But yeah, that is my video from Barcelona. 3 years old. I can't believe it's 3 years old already. Time flies. If you have any other questions, then pop them down there. I will try my best to answer those for you. I hope you really enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed the Barcelona video, which I'm about to show you. And yeah, until next time, take care, get out, ride your bikes, have fun, and I will catch you all next time, hopefully outside in the sunshine. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. But thanks a lot, everyone, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.